Hello, football fans and English learners, the podcast where we combine football insights with English learning. I'm Brad.
And I'm Emily. Today, we're diving into a hot topic, Manchester United's transitional season. With coaching changes, fluctuating performances, and fan reactions, there's plenty to unpack. Are you ready for this deep dive, Brad?
Absolutely, Emily. Manchester United is always a talking point, and this season is no different. To all our listeners, whether you're here for football, English, or both, grab a cup of tea and let's jump in.
So, Brad, let's start with the big news. Manchester United's new head coach, Ruben Amorim. What's your take on this decision? Was it the right move?
Good question, Emily. It's definitely a bold move. Ruben Amorim has a strong track record at Sporting Lisbon, where he won league titles and made his team one of the best in Portugal. But as we say in football, the Premier League is a different beast. He'll need to adapt quickly to the pace and pressure of English football.
Absolutely, and taking over mid-season adds a layer of complexity. The team is already sitting third in the league, but the stakes are high. It's a tough time to implement new ideas. Listeners, here's a quick English tip. Mid-season means the middle of a season, pretty straightforward but useful in both sports and general contexts.
Good point, Emily. And you'll often hear the phrase, a different beast, in English. It means something that's much more challenging or entirely different than expected. For Amorim, the Premier League is that beast, especially with the intensity and physicality of the game here.
That's a great phrase to remember, listeners. Now, Brad, what do you think Amorim brings to the table that's unique?
His tactical innovation, no doubt. Amorim is famous for his 3-4-3 formation, which emphasizes high pressing and fluid attacking play. He's also great at developing young talent, something Manchester United fans have been craving to see more of.
Sounds promising, but do you think the players will adapt quickly enough?
That's the big question, Emily. And it ties perfectly into our next topic, United's performance in the Premier League so far.
Let's talk numbers, Brad. On paper, United's third-place position looks solid, but last weekend's draw with Ipswich Town raised some eyebrows. What's going on with their form?
Inconsistency, Emily. Their defense has become more organized, but the attack has been hit or miss. Marcus Rashford has been reliable, but the midfield isn't providing enough support. Players like Bruno Fernandes need to step up if they're serious about challenging for the title.
Bruno Fernandes, a key name for United, no doubt. Listeners, here's another English tip for you. To step up means to take responsibility or perform better in a challenging situation. It's a phrase you can use in any context, not just sports.
Great point, Emily. And speaking of Rashford, it's worth noting his contributions off the pitch as well. Did you know he's a philanthropist? That means he dedicates time and money to helping others, like his campaigns to fight child poverty in the UK. Truly inspiring.
He's an example of a great role model, but coming back to the field, do you think Amorim can get more out of the squad?
It won't be easy, but it's possible. Amorim's attacking philosophy will require patience and discipline. He'll need players to buy into his system fully.
And that brings us to our next topic, Amorim's challenges as a manager in this high-pressure environment. So, Brad, let's get into it. What do you think will be Amorim's biggest challenge this season?
Adapting his 3-4-3 system to the Premier League. The league's physical demands and fast-paced games will test both the players and the coach. He'll also need to win over the dressing room, a critical aspect for any manager, especially one taking charge mid-season.
Winning over the dressing room, that's an interesting phrase. It means gaining the respect and trust of the players. And you're right, Brad. It's crucial for a manager's success.
Exactly. Another challenge will be squad depth. Injuries and fatigue could expose gaps in the team. Amorim will need to rotate players carefully while maintaining performance levels.
Speaking of players, who do you think he'll rely on the most?
Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, without a doubt. But I'm also excited about younger players like Alejandro Garnacho. Amorim has a reputation for nurturing young talent, so this could be an exciting development for United.
That's a good point. And listeners, here's another English tip. The phrase nurturing talent means helping someone grow and develop their skills, often through guidance and support. It's a phrase you can use in work or personal life. Now, let's talk about the fans. What's the mood at Old Trafford, Brad?
Mixed, Emily. Some fans are excited about a fresh start under Amorim, while others are cautious. United's history with short-term managerial appointments has left many skeptical. People are saying, is this another false dawn?
False dawn. That's another great phrase for you listeners. It refers to something that seems promising at first but ultimately doesn't deliver. Would you say you're cautiously optimistic, Brad?
That's a fair description. I want Amorim to succeed, but it's too early to tell. The next few months will be crucial.
And listeners, remember, being cautiously optimistic means you're hopeful but aware that things could go wrong. It's a useful phrase to express mixed feelings about any situation. That's a wrap for today's episode. We've covered everything from coaching changes to Premier League challenges and fan reactions.
Remember to practice what you've learned today. Try summarizing the episode, noting down new phrases, or even discussing it with a friend. It's a fun way to combine your love for football with improving your English.
And don't forget to share your thoughts. Do you think Ruben Amorim will succeed at Manchester United? Send us a message or comment on our socials. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, stay tuned, stay learning, and as always, keep loving the beautiful game.